All right, I will call to order the meeting of the Board of Supervisors. Mr. Jamison, roll call vote, please.
Leyland,
Here.
Little,
Here.
Schwartz,
Here.
White,
Here.
Trelka.
Here. Let us have a moment of silence in particular. Let's remember Mr. Burke. I was shocked and saddened, as we all were, to hear of his passing. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And before we approve the agenda on the consent agenda, number B1, it was posted as fiscal year 21. It's been corrected to fiscal year 20. Motion to receive and approve the agenda.
So moved.
It has been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed? Public comments. Do we have any public comments? Could I ask you to remove your hat, sir? Thank you.
Okay, Paul Dahl is my name and serving people is my game. I just want to let you know, and of course, I grew up here in Blackhawk County, but I'm running for governor of Iowa as a Democrat. And of course, I told Kim Reynolds back in 2019, when I ran into her at the state fair, that I was going to be taking her on for 2022. So I just wanted to say hello to everybody, and like I said, I grew up in Blackhawk County. My dad was known as Mr. Local 838. My dad was Carl Dahl. And of course, he passed away in 1983. So it's going to be the battle for 93 counties in order to beat Kim Reynolds, because I think you all know the 6 most populous counties here in Iowa do vote for Democrats. But it's going to be, I'm going to take the battle to Kim in the other 93 counties. So I just want to say hello. And of course, I'll be doing some fundraising in Blackhawk County. And if anybody wants one of these decals cost $4 a piece. So if one of the board members wants one, I'll just leave it here.
All right,
So
thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Any other public comments? Anybody online that wishes to comment? All right, claims and payments. We have there's a resolution that the Board of Supervisors approve expenditures and that the county auditor be authorized and directed to issue checks against the various settlement of such claims as allowed.
Good morning. The week's expenditures total $323,012.79. The larger departments, $31,608 for the sheriff department, $14,696 social services, $15,778 conservation, $23,972 is a workers' comp premium, and finally $99,523 is secondary roads. Everything looked normal.
I make a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Jamison, roll call vote, please.
Little,
Yes.
Schwartz,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Leyland,
Yes.
Trelka.
Yes. Project updates from department heads and/or elected officials. Kathy, how are you?
Good.
We did not get any snow, huh?
Good morning, Board. Kathy Nicholas, County Engineer. Yes, snow is the word for the day. All plows and motor graders are out today. Most roads are snow covered, although some of the paved roads have blown clear in places. It's just the sheltered areas on some roads that have the most snow where drifting is occurring. So we do anticipate the plows will be out until 5 p.m. today and then back in at 5 a.m. in the morning. We do not run a night shift. I just want to remind the public that our snow ordinance does allow us 48 hours to get around to all of the roads, and this is primarily the gravel road system that takes us a little bit longer to get plowed out. So we would ask the patient to be the public to be patient with us as we get all of our roads plowed. Can I answer any questions?
It seems like it's
Kathy,
easy snow.
I did have someone that called and I said, this is probably something you've told us several times, but wondered how many plows and motor graders that are out.
So all of them, we have nine
Yeah.
motor grader districts. They have between 60 and 80 miles to plow, to get to in the next couple days. And then our trucks, we have, I want to say 12 different truck routes, and it can take, they started at between 5 and 6 a.m. this morning. Our longest route, it probably takes 2 or 2.5 hours before the entire route is covered. And I'm sure that they'll be making multiple passes today. They do, of course, have to go back to the shops to get sand and salt to resupply their dump trucks as, as they use that material. Can I answer anything more specific?
No, I'm sure, like I said, you told us and I should have known, but it was like, no, I thought, I'll try to remember. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you. Sure.
I put a very quick request out this morning to the media just to give us time. Let us get caught back up after this significant snow event. Again, we've been very lucky this winter, and so a lot of people don't have their winter snow legs underneath them yet. We had a lot of slipping and sliding this morning, a lot of minor accidents, nothing major. But our request that went out was just simply let the plows get caught up after the snow stops so that if they don't have to be someplace this morning, please give us time.
Seemed like traffic was actually lighter this
Yeah.
morning. People
Yeah.
were taking heed. So, thank you, Sheriff. Any other department heads or elected officials in the boardroom that wish to
Good
comment?
morning, Board. This is Dr. Bornier from Blackhawk County Public Health. I'm sorry, I'm zooming in. We've have schools and childcare that are closed, and so I'm playing double duty today. But I wanted to just give the board some upcoming vaccine communication that will take place this week. First, we ask the community to be patient with us. There is still a shortage of vaccine. So we're getting individuals 65 and above, but not everybody will be able to get the vaccine immediately because, again, I was in communication with the state yesterday also, and they indicated the same thing. So we also had a meeting with our healthcare providers, Mercy One, Unity Point, and People's Community Clinic, to call their patients 65 and older. We'll have, we're gonna have a press release in regards to that. And also we're gonna have a press conference. We're hoping to schedule it on Thursday, and we'll let media the scenes working on those logistics, and I know people are eager to where they can get their vaccine, and I'm very excited to see that people are interested in the vaccine. We're just finalizing the logistics, and hopefully no later than tomorrow we'll have that communication out to the community. Again, the healthcare systems have also emphasized, for me to really communicate that we do have a shortage, and it's not just Blackhawk County, it's the state of Iowa. And so they also had indicated, the state had also indicated that hopefully around mid-February there might be an increase in vaccination. But they are prioritizing the larger counties that have are more populated. But again, I can't emphasize this enough. There's a shortage in vaccine supply. We're not gonna get through everybody immediately. There will be schedules. It won't be based on appointments, because once you open that vial, you have to get through the vaccines. In addition to that, we're gonna do some updates with our website so that we can notify, people can sign up and be notified if they're interested, and also work with businesses to get also for them to sign up if their staff are interested. We have enough information of how need to be allocated to certain businesses. So with that, do know behind the scenes, we're moving as fast as we can. in terms of planning and also communication so that everybody is aware of what's going on. One of the hurdles that we encounter is that we never know how much vaccines we're going to get. I said this before, but you know, it just comes to us on Wednesdays. We don't have the number, so we just know that there will be something weekly, but again, we don't know. And so the hospitals are also trying to figure out logistically how to plan around that. And so we're having those conversations. But again, communication will go out no later than to Wednesday. We just want to make sure we have all our ducks in a row so that there is no confusion for community members and our providers. Also, we're giving them time to be prepared. So any questions for me?
Make sure you get
Regards
it
to
on the radio
vaccine.
stations too, because a lot of people don't get the courier. And so that's where the lack of communication is coming in, that there's not enough information being put out by the state health department on this stuff, so it's causing a lot of distrust all the way down.
Yeah, they're getting also a lot of calls as we are. And again, I have to say, I think that a lot of it also is that we're planning as we're receiving, and that's even from you know, not to speak from the state, but I think that also they're not also given a certain number of vaccines. They don't have that certainty of how many vaccines are coming into the state. But like I stated, that they did reach out to us and let us know that hopefully by mid-February more will be coming in. And Supervisor White, this might be, you know, because I know you share a lot of concerns with the veteran communities. Last week I was in touch with Yolando, and I inquired about, you know, how many veterans actually went to Iowa City, because I am concerned about the population that might not have transportation to get there. And so, you know, we're working on those logistics to get the data so that we can also plan to make sure that, you know, we've covered also the veterans here in Black Hawk County. Especially, I know he can pull the data of 65 and older, those that are that attend the center. So we're working on those things. Again, we can plan, but we also have to take into account that there's more demand than supply. And so that also, it's just going to require a lot of patience. But we're going to try our best to get people vaccinated and the essential workforce as well. One of the recommendations also from the state is for us to split the allocation 50-50 from the 65 and older and the essential workforce. And so the 65 and older, those allocations again will go to the healthcare system, Mercy One, People's Community Clinic, and Unity Point. We're looking at the data today for our independent providers to see what's their preferred hospitals and how to allocate those vaccines as well to them. And then the other 50 are going to be for the essential workforce. And so that we're working closely with our pharmacies. So our COVID-19 vaccine providers, kudos to them. They've been very flexible. The pharmacies, the healthcare systems just wanting to help and really support us in terms of getting the community vaccinated. So I'm very hopeful. This is something that everybody's going through nationally. It's tough times, but there's light at the end of the tunnel. So we just have to keep pushing through.
A lot of veterans were sent home without a shot the other day too, according to KWWL in Iowa City.
I didn't hear you, Supervisor
I said
White.
a lot of veterans were sent home from Iowa City without a shot because they didn't have enough. That's poor planning.
So that's why here we're doing it by appointments.
Sure.
You know, we gotta do it by appointments because we gotta get through those vaccines. And as I've emphasized with you all, no dose is going to be wasted in Black Hawk County. No dose, so we will continue to push through and do our best. But that's also part of the logistical hurdles. If you don't have enough and you ask people to attend, you're going to run out. And so we don't want to do that, especially to vulnerable populations that it's difficult in itself to get there and also stand in line. And we're going to do it by appointment.
All right, any more questions for Dr. Egbonye?
Yes. Oh, go ahead.
Yes.
Dr. Ebonye, correct me if I'm wrong, but just if there is an individual who's over the age of 65, but for whatever variety of reasons is not part of a healthcare system or doesn't have a primary healthcare provider, those are individuals that after the 1st of February should be calling the health department to make arrangements. Is that correct?
Yes, so again, we'll also announce that, we take into consideration people without medical homes. And really, the systems are more than willing to get them vaccinated. However, we don't want them to be calling the systems because it takes from them in terms of their, the care that they need to provide for the patients that are there. So the healthcare, the public health, we're gap fillers. This is what we do, right? So we are planning to set up a call center. We have a lot of calls. We know they're going to get we're going to get more calls coming through, but we are going to be the ones to navigate people for that don't have medical homes. And People's Community Clinic, our federally qualified health center, that's part of also their charge. And so they are more than willing to partner with us to get that done.
Linda?
Nafisa, this is some related. Yesterday, there were a couple of people that contacted me. One particularly, I obviously heard the news last night about Lynn County and the people 65 and older contacting them to make appointments. And so they were wondering, their question really was related to people that are over 65 but have underlying conditions being probably first or be a more direct need. And should they be acquiring something from their doctor to prove that, or no?
No, it's going to be too complicated, and I've let the state know they're aware. We're going to target 65 and older, like whoever is willing to get the vaccine to come, to really, once your appointment is just come and get the vaccine. But again, you will see in our press release, we're going to ask people don't show up to the clinics, don't do those things, just wait. We're going to try our best to get to you all, and hopefully by mid-February we'll have more vaccines coming in. But this is really to prevent frustration, logistical chaos, and make sure that we're going through those vials accordingly. But no, we're going to really target by age.
And the other question was just, and I'm sure you've got information overload, like you said, as far as a call center and things. There was another individual that mentioned that they had emailed, I think, the health department about 10 days ago and hadn't received a response. So I just wondered, I didn't ask them what their question was, if it was vaccine or something else, but
Yes, Supervisor Leyland, we are inundated with calls. And we are still doing disease investigation and contact tracing at the same time during COVID-19. So staff are stressed thin. So my ask is really for the community to be patient. We try to be proactive to get to people, but once we have state meetings that we have to attend to those, Again, as I stated, even for our allocations, it happens, and we have 24 hours to make those decisions. And so I feel like we're in deployment. I'm getting a taste of what the military goes through, and public health is really where we have been deployed for some time. And so that's just what it is. It's We'll continue to do our best to get to people, but we're hiring additional contact tracers to help us with the calls because it's very hard, and the healthcare systems are also experiencing that.
And you mentioned the call center, having a type of call center, any limit on time that would help relieve? some-
Yes, so we, Amanda helped us go through some of the interviews with the contact tracers because we're looking into utilizing them both as contact tracers and also, answering the COVID-19 vaccine. So based on our recruitment process, like background checks, it's mid-February. But after this call, I was gonna call her and see if we can accelerate those because we need people to answer those calls and help us to be able to navigate people. So if we can do it, the faster we can do it, the better. But I know individuals have to go through background checks and whatnot. So we'll work those logistics. But that's really been the main thing is really our calls have been quite a bit, and yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
I would ask, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Tom, do you have any questions?
No.
All right, any other department heads? Mike, I don't see Yolando up there. We will move on to approving the minutes. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? It is approved. Hearings, times are approximate. At 9:05, we're going to have a hearing and bid opening for the Brandon and Canfield Road grading and paving project. Later in the meeting, we will have a second hearing for a bid opening for the proposed fiscal year 22 seal coating project. The consent agenda, can I have a motion?
So moved.
It's been moved. Do we have a second for the consent?
Second.
We have a second. Mr. Jamison, roll call vote, please.
Schwartz,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Leyland,
Yes,
Little,
Yes.
Trelka.
Yes. We have on item number 8A, a resolution that the tax sales certificate assignment for a vacant lot, parcel 891324204007, located in Waterloo, Iowa, pursuant to 446.31 of the Code of Iowa, be approved and said certificate of purchase of tax sale be assigned to Willie L. Richmond as recommended by Rita Schmidt, County Treasurer.
Willie L. Richmond had requested this vacant lot. He just purchased his property at 205 Peak, brought all the taxes up to date on those that parcel, and now he's pursuing the one that's the vacant lot behind that. Taxes have been delinquent since 2007. Most of it is special assessments for weed and snow removal. Taxes on this property is $32 a year.
Move to approve?
second,
Mr. Jamison, roll call vote, please.
White,
Yes.
Leyland,
yes,
Little,
Yes.
Schwartz,
Yes.
Trelka.
Yes. Item 8B, a resolution that the compromise offered in the amount of $500 by Willie L. Richmond on taxes and special assessments owed for one vacant lot, parcel 891324204007, located in Waterloo, Iowa, be approved.
So moved.
second,
Ms. Schmidt? All right. Nothing else to add? Mr. Jamison, roll call vote, please.
Leyland,
yes,
Little,
Yes.
Schwartz,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Trelka.
Yes. A resolution that the amendment to the minutes of the Board of Supervisors meeting on January 14th, 2021, to read as follows. Be it hereby resolved to approve a 3% increase in salaries for all elected officials in fiscal year 22, which is a 14.3% reduction of the County Compensation Board's recommendation of a 3.5% increase, and to likewise approve a 3% increase in salaries for all department heads and non-bargaining employees.
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Jamison, roll call vote, please.
Little,
Yes.
Schwartz,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Leyland,
Yes.
Trelka.
Yes. Item 8D, a motion to direct the finance director to advertise for a public hearing on the proposed Blackhawk County budget for fiscal year 2021
So moved.
to 2022 to be held on February 9th, 2021 at 9:05 a.m. in Boardroom 201 of the Blackhawk County Courthouse, Waterloo, Iowa. It has been moved and seconded. Any comments?
Yeah, I'm getting this updated on the screen here. Bear with me just a minute as Kim is moving some of the other portions of the screen here. But last week, what we decided to do is go ahead and publish the property tax dollars that are going to be levied for as is. Again, this is a max property tax dollar revenue for general basic, general supplemental, as well as rural basic. You'll notice in the far right column the percent change, or the proposed percentage change for our general fund. You're looking at a percentage increase of 1.77%. And if you remember, what that means is that does not require a supermajority. Anything over 2% does require a 2% majority, and in this case, this year, this does not. So moving on to the rural, you'll see actually a decrease of the 1.94%. That is what's published. Again, that is the max, depending on what we do today at the budget session. But again, that's what we're looking at being published. Again, that's also what will be approved. Again, no matter what we do at today's session, that's what we'll have to do on February 9th. So,
All right, it has been moved and seconded. Any supervisors have comments at this point? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? It is approved. We'll move on to hearings. It is 9:27 approximately. And this is a hearing and bid opening on the proposed Brandon Road HMA grading and paving project, LFM 50157X07, and Canfield Road HMA grading and paving, LFM 50207X07.
Motion to receive and place on file, proof of publication.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion to close the hearing after oral or written comments are received.
Second?
Yes,
Kathy?
the engineer's estimate for this project is $925,892.90. We received one bid. They have submitted their bid bond as required. The bid comes from Aspro Incorporated, Waterloo, Iowa.
Need to close that first.
Yeah, we're going to close.
Oh, I'm
All
sorry.
in favor?
All right, all those in favor of closing the hearing?
Aye.
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 All those opposed?
Bids to be received and opened and read before the deadline of 3 o'clock yesterday.
Yes,
Thank you.
Second. Kathy, go ahead.
yes. The bid is from Aspro Incorporated, Waterloo, Iowa. $817,504.82. 817,504.82.
Board, any questions for Kathy? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I don't think we needed a
No,
motion
okay.
on opening bids. We need a motion
Two.
to receive them and place them on file.
All right, a motion that the Board of Supervisors review and place on file the bids to allow time to review said bids as recommended by Catherine Nicholas,
So moved.
County Engineer. Second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? It is approved. It is about 9:29. This is a hearing and bid opening for the proposed fiscal year 22 Seal Coat project in various locations throughout Blackhawk County.
Motion to receive and place on file proof of publication.
Second?
Second.
Any comments, questions? All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion to close the hearing after all written comments are received.
Second? All right, all those in, any, Mr. Jameson, were any oral or written comments received?
No.
That doesn't look like it. No, sir.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
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 Bids to be received and opened and read before, deadline was 3 o'clock yesterday.
Second?
Thank you.
Kathy?
The first bid from Blacktop Service Company, Humboldt, Iowa. They have submitted the bid bond as required.
What was the engineer's estimate?
The engineer's estimate was $139,409.28. Blacktop Services bid, $119,767.18. 119,767.18. The second bid, Farner Asphalt Sealers, Eau Claire, Wisconsin. They have submitted the bid, the surety, the bid bond. The bid is $126,172. 126,172.00. Third bid from Manats Incorporated, Brooklyn, Iowa. Bid bond has been received. The bid is $128,471.14. 128,471.14. Next bid, Prairie Road Builders, Hazelton, Iowa. They have submitted the bid bond. The bid is $121,496.07. 121,496.07. And then our final bid is from Stay Built Construction Company, Harlan, Iowa. They have also submitted the bid bond. The bid is $166,093.16. 166,093.16.
Any questions for Kathy? I'll make a motion that the Board of Supervisors review and place on file the bids to allow time to review said bids as recommended by Catherine Nicholas, County Engineer. It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed? It has passed. Discussion that the county preparedness and possible updates for COVID-19. Any discussion in regard to COVID-19 that we haven't covered so far? All right, let's move on to item 9, the work session, 9A. Discussion and possible board action, consideration of all aspects of the fiscal year 22 Blackhawk County budget.
All right, good morning. I can put this back on the screen here. Give me a second. So what we're looking at right now, again, are the levies for general basic, general supplemental, county services, debt service, combined for total urban, as well as rural basic. These are what we just approved for the max levy. The only thing that's kind of hanging in the balance right now is any direction that we'll need for the health department and their budget. Other than that, I mean, we've really wrapped this thing up. So I don't know if I can answer any questions, but really what I'm looking at today is just a little bit more direction on what to do moving forward on that specific department budget.
Board, this is where we fine tune it. We have several department heads present. Any questions for James or any of the department heads present?
I had a couple of questions, and I think Bridget did a great job of explaining some of the things in a couple of those categories last week, but I just wanted clarification. I guess as I understood it, the $6,000 for the capital expense was a area.
You're breaking up a little, Linda.
Oh, sorry. Okay, am I loud enough?
Yes, now you seem to be good momentarily.
Okay, my question, the two questions I had, I guess were line items. One was regarding the capital item, the $6,000, and I believe she explained that that was a desk, some shelving, and a chair. And I think the explanation, or she gave something, and not to put her on the spot, but it was one of the items that just hadn't been replaced in the office.
That's correct.
Was that correct? Okay, thank you. And the second was regarding minor office equipment and furniture. I think there was a $5,700 increase in that, but I was just wanting a little more clarification on what that was.
Give me 1 second here. Let me pull it up.
Thank you.
So minor office equipment and furniture include things such as headsets, sit to stand for our ergonomic desk for our employees. Looks like last year we had a table that was included, some carts for our clinics, and some storage cabinets.
So were there, you said last year there were some items.
Yep, so that's anticipated to have a few more of those same items needed this year.
Like the ergonomic desks?
Yep, I just had actually done a survey that I have about 10 to 15 people who still would like some sit-to-stands.
And so the 5,700 includes how many of those?
Let's see.
Or I guess I should say, yeah, I think that was the increase. I guess it was 7,200, but the change was $5,700.
That would include approximately 16 sit-to-stands.
And can I add to that sit to stand? Those were about a year ago. I remember with talking to Debbie Bunger, just seeing the overall county. Those were the sit to stands also like people in other departments had. So those were, I was given some of those like suggestions because those are also things that other departments also have.
Oh, no, I understand. I think there's several who are considering those or would like to have those yet. So I looking at items in the budget that maybe could be delayed or we could put off a little bit, those types of things, Nafisa.
Mm-hmm.
Board, any other comments or questions at this point?
I don't know if there's any questions. I was going to say, as a board, we've all been spending a considerable amount of time on looking at the health budget and reviewing it. And didn't know if any thoughts had changed or anyone's had ideas or thoughts on what we should do or could do, or if there are thoughts on that, I'd love to hear them. I know earlier there was a considerable, I guess, consensus, or there seemed to be a majority of the board that felt we still should cut that budget. I assume that probably hasn't changed.
I assume that as well.
Are there, yeah, okay, and I didn't know if there were things that people were looking at or considering. I, like I said, kind of tore into it a little bit more this weekend and had some ideas and thoughts, but certainly don't want to just be the person that has suggestions, I guess, for looking at it. If there are others to consider, I'm open to all options.
Board, what is your pleasure?
Well, because I say those two items were two that I thought we could certainly put off another year. People have these ergonomic desks, and I see a real benefit for, I mean, no, not everybody has them, but some do. I thought the capital item of the $1,000, since the desk could just be pushed off a year, that was something we could, but, and I have one other suggestion, I guess, but it's just a suggestion. I know we've spent considerable time looking at, talking about restructuring and how important that is, and the positions last year and this year that needed to be filled, and that, Nafisa, you've done an excellent job of getting that done, I know, over this last year. But I guess my thoughts were maybe, and this is just me as a board member, I can't speak for the entire board, that maybe there are some conversations we need to have on that restructuring and understanding the need for those positions and all the positions that are listed there. And I know the epidemiologist came up just as an additional position, you know, that we were questioning just how much we needed two rather than one and that type of thing. And but not to target that position as much as just to say, are there positions, I guess, and you may very well have considered this, you know, that can be restructured even to within the department, because I know there are still some to be filled, and not necessarily those. Maybe it's just an understanding of what the position, how could we, you know, if this is the best structure, making sure that the board understands and knows that as well. And maybe it's just me, but I wondered if we couldn't also reduce tax askings, since we're talking about 22, and we know, like I say, we have a ways to go for that, that we might consider change of the salary and benefits item for $91,092. And at some point after these discussions, and were we to feel we have more information about all of the positions created and filled and everything about that, it would be up to the board at that point in time if we were so inclined, obviously, to do a budget amendment and put money back into those salaries and benefits. But that was just a thought I had looking at some of the items, because certainly providing the services to residents, we want to do that. That's not something that we would question. I don't think this board, no one questions doing that. We don't want that to be something that we're not doing. But these might be ways that we could take some of the tax askings off the table and reduce that for this year 22.
Well, we are going, in the future, we're going to have another joint meeting with the Board of Health, and that tentatively is going to be scheduled for March. It surely is in the authority of the board, of course, to do budget amendments in the future if we need to for any department. If we take no action today, the budget stands as is. But we're at a point now where if anybody would like to submit a motion, we will certainly entertain that.
I think due to the information I saw the other day of the various counties, some of them larger than Blackhawk County, that has just one of that, what do you call it,
Epidemiologist.
Yeah, they have one. Some of the larger counties don't have zero. We have one currently on staff We have another individual that was there and moved into another classification. So really, in all honesty, in a pinch, we have two of them. So with that said, I would make a motion to eliminate that staff position and or the funding for that position.
I don't think that we have the authority as the supervisors to make motions to eliminate positions.
We sure do, Mr. Swartz, but just to, if you heard my motion, it was either the staff and or the funding, which we certainly have the right to take funding. So that was part of my motion.
Mr. Little, James, over the weekend, I gotten a hold of you on getting information on epidemiologists for the, can you read off the statistics for?
I don't have it with me, but
Oh, it's like Mr. Little said, some of the larger counties than us don't even have one, and we've got more or less two in place right now and want a third one. At this time, I couldn't justify that, especially looking at what's going on in the world.
Let's go back to the motion.
Okay.
The amount.
Hello?
The amount. Mr. Perry, do you have what dollar amount that would be in regard to the motion on the floor?
yes, give me just a second here.
Is there a time to say something? Because
Not, there will be
In a second.
here shortly, Dr. Nmonye. We're just getting a dollar amount. I'll entertain a second on the motion, then we'll have more discussion.
Second. For further
The
discussion.
motion has been seconded. We're just waiting on a dollar amount because it's my understanding that the dollar amount is more, I'm more comfortable with that in regard to the authority the board has, me specifically.
That was part of my motion.
Yes.
the dollar
Yes.
amount.
We are currently budgeting $98,699 for that position.
So, Mr. Little, your motion includes that amount?
Yes, it does.
And your second, Mr. White?
I'm comfortable with that.
Dr. Nbonye?
So I just wanted to clarify some of the comments that were made in regards to the position and the other counties as the public health expert here. During the restructuring, one of the things that I took into consideration is Black Hawk County, where we are the other counties that were accredited. So looking at counties, the first county that was ever accredited was Lynn County Public Health. And so looking at Lynn County, within Lynn County, they do have one epidemiologist title, but Lynn County has at least 4 epidemiologists. Johnson County is under the University of Iowa School of Public Health. They have a direct relationships with the epidemiologists in the School of Public Health. Polk County is directly Des Moines, where you have, the Iowa Department of Public Health. And then you have Cerro Gordo and Scott County, and they also have different strategies in which they built their epidemiological unit. So I just want the board to be aware that I did look at other counties where they are in relative to their FTE. That's why I found it an anomaly in 2016, 2015, 2014, 2013, that we had over 100 FTEs in our book while other counties were less. And that's why the layoffs occurred during that time period. And so over the years, those are some of the things that others counties did that Black Hawk County Public Health did not do. And so when I've had all their organizational chart, looking at it, looking and examining where we are in comparison to other counties and their FTEs. So I just want the board to know that I always look at where we are in comparison to other counties and the capacities that those counties have that is different from us. So Lynn County, for example, yes, they have one epidemiologist under that's under that title, but again, they have at least 4 that are building their epidemiological unit. And that is why Lynn County was able to also be the first public health department to be accredited in the state of Iowa. VNA, home health was subcontracted years ago. Blackhawk County Public Health did not do that. And so I think that's information for you all to be aware that every time we restructure, I look at models that have been proven to be effective, and also how it aligns with our particular needs. So that's just something for you all to, it's hard to compare from county to county what they're doing because of also some of the level of flexibility or barriers that they have that's very different from us.
Mr. Perry, could you put the levy rate chart up again, please? Because this motion would obviously have an impact on the levy.
Hi, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Miss Pastor Robinson, go ahead, please.
Yes, hi. I would like to make a comment at whatever time you say it's permissible.
Sure, go ahead.
Oh, okay. First of all, good morning, board. And I want to just say on behalf of the board that we stand by this budget, of course, because we believe that it helps us to fulfill the vision that not only our vision, but the vision that's set out in the Code of Iowa for independent boards of health, which we are. It also helps us to fulfill our mission with the 10 essential services that we must provide statutorily. And it also, I want to, I know that I don't need to remind the board, but as an independent board, we are charged, the department is charged with coming up with what the best structure would be to fulfill our functions. When we had meetings, every single manager, I will repeat, 100% of the managers talked about the needs of the department and the things that needed to be done within the department. Not 90%, not 50%, but 100% of the managers felt that there needed to be change. And as I understand it, in talking with the board attorney, that the Board of Supervisors has the authority, obviously, to cut the budget, to increase the budget. That is your authority. But when it comes to particular positions and line items, then it is the department's responsibility based upon our responsibilities based upon the code and the community in which we serve. It is then our responsibility to decide how best to use those monies as long as they are being used in accordance with Iowa Department Code 137, which governs us. And I wanted to just reiterate that. I understand that these are tough times, but I also want to keep in front of us that we are not only in the midst of a pandemic, but that we still have everything. There has been nothing cut that the department has to do, even in the midst of a pandemic. If anything, along with accreditation, everything has increased. And I'm not trying to tell any of the board what your powers are or what your duties are. I know that as an independent board, we have the authority to be able to allocate in terms of personnel and equipment, those things. Now, you have the authority to cut. There's no question about that. But then we have to also look at what is going to work best for the department and for the community. And I would implore you, if you have not already done so, to maybe talk with the county attorney about where the authority begins and where it ends.
Thank you. Mr. Perry, in regard to the dollar amount of this motion, the reduction, what's the impact on our levy?
Oh, I apologize. I didn't, I'll change that real quick.
I think Tom wanted to say something.
Mr. Little?
I call for the question.
I would like to say something before we do that.
I called for the question. I made the motion. There's been a second.
Well, I'm
Mr.
just going to speak anyways. Correct me if I'm wrong with Mr. Perry, but reducing this budget by 90 cents would be a savings, or by $90,000 would be a savings of 90 cents to a homeowner with a home valued at $100,000. And so I think that it's just really irresponsible to suggest that we eliminate an epidemiologist position during the middle of a pandemic, just to sense for a homeowner. It's just, and I'm quite frankly shocked that this is what.
Call for the question.
Mr. Jamison, roll call vote, please.
One second. Okay. Schwartz,
No.
Leyland,
No, I don't want to see us eliminate positions. That's why I wanted more discussion, but no.
Little,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Trelka.
Yes. The motion passes. Any other discussion in regard to the fiscal year 22 budget and levy follow-up?
I do just want to be clear that we are simply lowering their budget by $98,699. And
Mr. Perry, that's just the staff part of it. They still have the $176,000 increase on their operating.
correct. That's why I want to also just make sure that, I mean, if the $98,699 is a total department reduction, that's fine. But you guys did specifically talk about the salary, so I did want to just make sure that that is what you are looking at approving.
Yes. What's the impact on the levy?
I'm updating that here real quick.
Mr. Jamison is tabulating some figures here.
No, James.
James.
No, you're
Mr.
fine.
Perry.
So right now you'd be looking at $6.37752 for the levy, which would be a 0.65% increase, and that is after the $98,699 has been removed.
So rural basic is decreased, or it declines by 4.7%, and the total amount is
1.3% decrease.
okay. Any reports or information from the board?
Like you said earlier, Mr. Chair, it's a sad time here in Blackhawk County. We just lost Pete Burke, one of the pillars of the community as far as I'm concerned. I've known Pete long before I became a supervisor, and Pete was a soft-spoken, good man that will be missed by the community. Along the same line, Howdy Maurer, a former 838 representative, UAW member, passed away yesterday, and he was another outstanding citizen in the community, so they'll be duly missed.
And I believe, now, For Pete, there's going to be a private ceremony at St. Edward's, but I believe it's going to be online at 10:30 today.
Right.
If anybody would like to participate. We were shocked when we got the word, because, he was a calming, stable factor in these meetings, even during my short time working with Pete on the
I
board.
would make a suggestion, if I may, that we pass around an envelope throughout the county or throughout the courthouse and collect money and maybe plant a tree out at one of the parks in honor of Pete. I think that'd be a nice touch.
I agree. A motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned.